When did you realize the family's favorite child wasn't really loved after all? I was sitting on the back patio with a lukewarm beer, watching my dad scrub the grill grates for the third time. It was a Sunday afternoon, the kind my parents lived for, specifically because my older brother Lucas was home. Lucas was the one who did everything right. He was 26, had a jawline that could cut glass, and had just landed a junior partner position at a law firm in the city. My parents treated his arrival like a visitation from a deity. I watched from the corner as Mom circled Lucas like a shark, picking imaginary lint off his shoulder and straightening his collar. We had about 10 guests over, mostly neighbors and a few of my dad's golf buddies. Every conversation circled back to Lucas. If someone mentioned the weather, Dad turned it into how Lucas had braved a storm to get to a deposition. If someone mentioned a movie, Mom talked about how Lucas didn't have time for television because he was so focused on his career. Lucas looked exhausted. I don't mean just tired. He looked gray. His eyes were bloodshot, and he kept rubbing his left temple. He was holding a glass of iced tea that was shaking slightly in his grip. I saw him try to sit down on one of the lawn chairs, but before his weight could even settle, Dad was there, clapping him on the back and steering him toward the neighbors to retell a story about a case he won. Lucas forced a smile, but it looked painful, like his skin was too tight for his face. I walked over to the cooler to grab another drink and ended up standing next to them. Lucas was in the middle of a sentence, his voice raspy when he stopped. He looked at Mom and said quietly that he had a migraine and needed to go lay down for 20 minutes. It wasn't a complaint, it was a plea. He looked like he was about to pass out. Mom didn't even look at his eyes. She looked at his shirt. She smoothed out a wrinkle on his chest and whispered, loudly enough for me to hear, that the Millers were just about to arrive and he needed to be presentable. She told him to drink some water and perk up because he was the reason everyone was here. She sounded annoyed, like he was a toaster that wasn't toasting fast enough. Lucas took a deep breath and nodded, but when he turned to greet the Millers, his legs gave out. It wasn't dramatic. He just crumpled. He hit his knees first, then tipped forward onto the patio pavers, knocking over a tray of appetizers. I dropped my beer and ran to him. He was conscious, just incredibly weak, blinking up at the sky. I looked up at my parents, expecting panic. I expected Mom to scream or Dad to call 911. Instead, Dad was standing over him with a look of pure irritation. His jaw clenched. He didn't bend down. He looked at the spilled dip on his shoes and then hissed at Lucas to get up. Mom was already turning to the guests, laughing a high, nervous laugh, apologizing for Lucas having too much sun and trying to shepherd people toward the buffet, away from the scene. I was the only one on the ground with him. I was checking his pulse, and my parents were checking the crowd reaction. They weren't worried that their son had collapsed. They were furious that he had embarrassed them. Dad finally leaned down, not to help Lucas up, but to whisper that he needed to get inside and stop making a scene. I helped Lucas to his old bedroom while my parents stayed outside to salvage the party.